Hey, ladies. How's it going?
What's up,
Hello.
everyone? How's y'all's week going?
Good. How about yours?
I sound quite a bit better. I'm getting over being sick. I'm still kind of coughing a little bit, but other than that, I'm fine. And it's been kind of crazy here in the panhandle of Texas. So y'all think about our area. It's now the worst fire disaster in the state history. So over 1 million acres is just gone, y'all.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you and Bunny are safe.
We are, like I said, most of us that are in Amarillo, we're good. It's more the little towns north of us, y'all, and a lot of those are state champion football teams and state champion basketball teams. And, their little towns have been just severely affected.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
So I haven't been really good to follow that. What is it? What caused the fire to start, or was it?
So I went to the combine, the National Scouting Combine from the 18th through the 23rd. And I think I got home the 24th, one of those days. I got I got home and we were having a windstorm. And so these windstorms caused down power lines. And so there's one really, really big one, and that's the majority of that. But there's also probably like 5 smaller ones.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. So yeah, definitely think about West Texas, y'all. They're going through it.
We will. Because having lived in New Mexico, we would get those a lot. So
yeah, we're talking like 40 to 50 mile hour winds all day.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yeah, thanks for sharing those ones with me, by the way.
I wasn't happy to come home to it. You see, I got sick.
Well, Jen passed that on to you, right? Because Jen was sick first.
Yes, I had to give it to Carrie too. I give it electronically, apparently. Shout out to my really
Cruise and didn't get sick.
I for Facebook and Instagram today.
So I had to wait for Jen to come back from the Super Bowl to get me sick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it says. I'm below her today. She better not be passing it down.
Right.
It's going across the country and up.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, talk to us about your experience. You got to go cover Radio Row. You were there all week. Talk to us about what it was like there in Vegas for Media Row.
So, as y'all mentioned, I did get sick. I did not go back. I went to Usher's press conference, and I was credentialed for Monday night, which was awesome. Obviously, went to Monday night, which is televised live. I got some questions in. Check out our link, y'all. I have some of our. I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm also going to put it in our on our page. And if anybody's really good at making link trees, hit me up because I don't know how to do it. And so I got some really good questions in. I was actually able to ask Coach Reed a question.
You got Rasheed Rice to send me a shout out. I mean,
yes, I did. Cool. And love you. And then it's just so much fun. And like, if you go up like to like where the news press room is and presses, so you can like kind of look out and on, it's so freaking cool. Like, I have to pinch myself that I'm there. And I was really stoked because last year I went under Rudy Reyes' show, Rude Dog, because I do some production work for him. And so he graciously took me with him last year. So that was my first experience, and this year was just awesome. I saw my friend Charlie. I love Charlie. And shout out to Charlie if you're watching. But we were able to like I was walking in, like about to go like where you go to go into Radio Row, and I was still like 100 feet away. Charlie and I caught eyes, and I was like, Charlie, and he was like, Jen, like at the same time. I ran up to him, and I was talking to him. He was talking to someone else, and the lady looked at me and she goes, he says that he's not anybody special. I go, he's full of it. I said, he is very special.
We love that.
And then I was really excited because, as we know, I'm a huge Panthers fan. Been a Panthers fan since '96. I'm also a Cam stan. Won't deny it. I'm all for it. but I'm better with the breakup because he seems really content. So, I had a feeling that he was because he had mentioned something on 4th and 1, and I shouldn't advocate another person's podcast, but it's Cam Newton, you all know. So they and said something about Radio Row like 2 days before I was flying out. And I was like, I just wonder. Or is he being a ham because he likes to ham it up?
Right,
and,
yeah.
And talking trash like he'll go next year. Nope, he was there, and I was so sweet. He was so sweet. The lady who books everything was so gracious, so kind. She's gorgeous. Her name is Kristen, so shout out to Kristen. She people kept trying to step in my way, and she had asked me. She's like, "We have back-to-back interviews. Can you come back at 1:00?" I was like, "Yes, that's fine." And so I went up to Cam and I said something to him. I'll tell y'all off air. But I don't want anybody to misinterpret what I said because, it was funny, but in a G-rated way. But we know people. So I said it to him. He chuckled. But with as much crap as Cam gets, he really didn't talk much. But he was engaged still. Like eye contact. He was visibly listening. And so we got a selfie. I shared it with you ladies. I need to put it on the page. I'm sorry. But Thursday morning, I went into the press conference with Usher, and that was really cool. Like, Usher is just an icon.
Right.
Just an iconic. People kind of had talked a little trash about his show, his halftime performance, but in all honesty, do you know how few people actually... No, thank you, Alex. People... it's something I had said to my coworkers many years ago. And he, anyway, so, just listening to Usher. So then we went to my friend Fago and I, who helps me out a lot with these events because Fago gets me into a lot of events. And he, so he had got me into the Sports Illustrated golf tournament. So we went over there. That was all on Thursday. Y'all, I hit a wall. You know how high energy I am.
Right.
I hit a wall, and I knew we had Babes in Toyland that night, and I was like, Fago, you need to write back with Eric because that's another one of our friends. Shout out Eric. And he what did he do? Oh, and so I went back to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law's house and just crashed for a couple of hours.
Right. And was literally sick for what, 3 weeks after the Super Bowl?
Four. It's still not completely gone. Like my ears are clogged up, but they don't feel like they're 10 times that size. But yeah, I don't get sick like this. Yes, this was all in Vegas.
Yeah. I think everybody be careful traveling. I think there's just a lot of gunk out there. Whatever you feel like you need to do to be safe while you travel, definitely do that. Same with me. You got sick when I got home from the National Scouting Combine, and I don't know if that was a combination of how bad the weather was here, y'all, because just the wind is crazy. But feeling much better now. The National Scouting Combine was an amazing experience. If you have a chance to check out any of their coverage on their YouTube channel, or I will also be putting my personal coverage up on our YouTube channel. It was very interesting. So there were D1 guys, D2, D3 guys. If you've had to take a different route to get to your goal, this is kind of one of those. If you didn't get invited to the NFL Combine, this is a way to get some times out there and get them logged, because the minute you walk across that stage, they don't care about your times anymore in college. So you need to have ready and available times. This is a way to do that. There were scouts there. We used the Big Ten refs were there to, it was a workshop for them as well, how they learn how to be better refs. What I loved about them is that they had 25 women and 25 men. And that was a very big focal point for them, is that 50-50. That's what it was. It was going to have just as much women as they do guys. And I thought that was amazing. So this year there was 11 on 11, and we also had 7 on 7. It was a great experience. We also had a drone this year, y'all. So some of our coverage is a little interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. Really enjoyed it. And then we have an arena team here in Amarillo also. And so one of the coaches from here, who they just brought the team back, it's been inactive for a few years. And their season starts next Sunday, I believe, at 5 o'clock. If y'all are in the Amarillo area, make sure y'all check out the Amarillo Venom. One of their coaches was there, so that was a really great experience. I think I handed out probably 500 cards, y'all. So it was a great. Right. It was a great experience. And before I finish up, I just want to shout out the Texas women's basketball team. We fell in the rankings down to number 6. We ended up losing to OU last week, but our freshman, excuse me, y'all. Our freshman Madison Booker was given Big 12 Player of the Year, and she's the only freshman to ever accomplish this. There were several other awards that came out. The conference awards came out today. So, of course, Dawn and her crew over there dominating the SEC along with LSU. Texas will be going to the SEC next year, so super excited for that. But the only freshman that's ever received this award. So super proud of Madison Booker. If you're watching, we love you. We're going to continue to support you. And the Big 12 tournament starts tomorrow. So make sure y'all are watching women's basketball. It is that time.
Alex did ask if that was if you're.
They're not in the IFL right now. They're trying to get back into it, or I think they're trying to get back into the AFL. It's one of those. Alex, they've been inactive for a couple of years. Before they were inactive, yes, they were a part of that league, and they're trying to get back to that status. So their schedule this year is a little bit shorter. I believe it's 8 games. And hopefully it's successful. Everybody here, y'all go out and support them so that they can get back into the IFL.
Well, did you see, since you were talking about the SEC, you mentioned the SEC, did you see, oh my gosh, I had her name and then lost it all in one, who Shaquille O'Neal escorted on senior night?
Angel Reese.
Angel.
Yeah, so we've heard a couple of ladies have declared for the draft. A couple of ladies have already said that they're going to return for their 5th-year senior. This is the last year that will be available for 5th-year seniors. So Angel is one of those. This was on her senior night. Shaq walked her out, and then her mom walked her out also. So I don't know if that means that she's going to go into the draft. I think it depends on her tournament run. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know how you top Shaq walking you out on senior night.
I'm like,
so
how do you
probably going in the draft.
Like, how does that even? Wow, what a memory! What a memory!
That's how you do that.
Right? Yeah.
Right. So, y'all have had really fun topics. I'm gonna be the Debbie Downer for a moment.
It's okay. We got it. We addressed it here.
Well, we addressed it when it happened. We've addressed it several different times. We now have to address it again. As we know, Brett Reed, which is Indy Reed's son, 2020, left the facility intoxicated, hit a family, and injured a young child. Right. He was arrested, did not get to travel to the Super Bowl, was fired, let go from the Chiefs organization. And we did find out later that the Chief organization, the Hunt family and the Reed family in combined, or however, were taking care of this little girl and her needs for the rest of her life.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The sad part is, I mean, there's no winners in this situation. No one wins, right? Mm-hmm. Yesterday, and I will do my best to keep my emotion out of this. Missouri's Parsons decided that he was going to commute his sentence from being in prison. He will now be under house arrest until October of 25, stating that Britt had handled all of everything he needed to handle in prison, and that there were people that were not penalized to his extent. And so that was his platform that he used to commute his sentence down to something small. I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
I think it's a black eye on anything that has happened. And I feel bad for how this is all playing out I think it has a bad look for the Chiefs. I think it has a bad look for Andy Reid and his family. I think it has a bad look for Parsons and his term, and it has a bad look for the state of Missouri. So it comes across as if you have someone that is successful in your family, that is also there's also been money restitution, then somehow, somewhere, someone greased a hand. We don't know who. We probably won't know who. I have my own opinion about this. Jen's heard things. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah, what I heard was on national sports radio.
Yeah, I don't say it's just there's going to be a take every way, but it looks bad no matter which way you dice it. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, if that was my child in prison, how would I feel? You know, obviously you want your child back where you have access to them. That's a mother thing. That's a family thing. You want access to your family. I just feel like it is a bad look, and it makes me very sad that this is how we're going to end. You know, we ended our Super Bowl parade with a tragedy, and we're just going to keep running through with this. And I'm like, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. He was given a sentence. Maybe it's 6 months you commute. I don't know, but I don't think you take a year and a half off the sentence. I don't think that's right at all. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it.
And her family didn't appreciate it. I think that's what's most, yeah.
Right.
They feel very dismissed by the state of Missouri, by this whole situation. And I would be too. I mean, let's be real. This child's future was irrevocably changed.
Right, yeah.
And we're going to be a year and a half off a drunk driver's sentence. I'm not condemning him, but he has to be held accountable for what he did. And at the time, that was what they
did. If it was one of us regular people, what do you think do you think our sentence would have been commuted?
No. And I can speak from firsthand experience, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Carrie, but if I stand up, you guys can see my right shoulder hangs lower than my left shoulder. I still have glass embedded in my shin from being in a drunk driving accident. I was in my early 20s. I was a passenger in a car. They had to use the jaws of life to get me out. My brother, literally, if y'all ever Google map the Arboretum in Charlotte, North Carolina to UNC Charlotte Hospital, you'll see it's usually about 45-minute drive. That's with good traffic, just because they're exact opposite sides of town. Megan, you've been to Charlotte. So where we met up is near where that was. The hospital is, okay?
Okay.
Now, back in that day, early in 2000, 485 didn't exist. So 485 now takes a lot off. My brother made it to the hospital in 20 minutes from the Arboretum because they put me in spinal track. So in all honesty, when you just said that, Carrie, you're not wrong, because the person I was riding with, this was his second DWI. I had recommended that I drive because I wanted it. I saw him having one drink. I knew he was going to drink. And he did. He got arrested. My insurance company had to sue his insurance company. We don't talk anymore at all. And I thought he was a friend for life. I was still willing to talk after the accident, but he couldn't handle his truth. You know what I mean? So there's going to be challenges that Brett is going to have to do. I do feel very bad for the family.
Right. Because I mean, that family's been through a lot themselves too, because, this is not his only son, and his other son passed away, and right before he got let go in Philadelphia. So, they've been through a lot too, but I don't think that equals out. You're not held accountable for what happened to this young girl.
Well, and I honestly wasn't thinking about this until Jen started talking. And when I tell you this, doesn't even equate. But 16-year-old Carrie was sitting in riding with my dad and my three younger siblings in custom deluxe, or not custom, is an international standard pickup. And I don't know if anyone knows about them, but you basically pay, it was a big block of steel. I mean, there was no comfort to it. I mean, it's just, it was a very durable vehicle. And my sister, so I was 16, that would have made my sisters who were sitting on my lap 7 and 8 or 8 and 9, and my brother would have been 14. And we're all in the truck with Dad. It was summer. We had just gone to get a load of hay straw for the local county fair, and a very prominent businesswoman in Marshfield, Daddy saw her. We were almost home. We were less than half a mile from home. And Daddy saw her coming and noticed that she was not seen on her side of the road. So he started taking the truck off. He had only 18 inches of the truck on the road the time that she opened up our truck like a can opener. So from the front bumper all the way down the driver's side, she had a Cadillac, those big old boat Cadillacs, and tore open the truck. Like there was a seam ripped open in the truck all the way down. Daddy turns around because he saved us because there was no safety. I mean, it would have been very detrimental. Turns around and we go back and he follows the car and we pull in the road and he goes and he gets out of the truck and knocks on the door because they just ran the truck, right? Her husband comes out the front door with a shotgun and lowers it at me on the passenger side.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Just happened that diagonal from their house was a state trooper that came in.
Wow.
Got us away, took his gun, he was off duty. So everything worked out well, right? Do you know what she got charged with? Nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing. They went and pulled her out of the back bedroom, and she was so drunk that she used the restroom all the way out and covered herself.
Oh my goodness.
And she got nothing out of the whole thing. So yes, it's not. Anyway.
I think Alex said it right. Nepotism.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. What else can you say about it?
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. I'm disappointed in the state of Missouri at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and the reports were also saying that Andy and the governor were hanging out together at the Super Bowl.
The governor was at a stupid Super Bowl parade.
With the price of tea in China or not, but I will say that I forgot something else I heard. Never mind. All right, Candy, tell us your happy story. Then I want to give my happy story too because I had one too.
Well, wait a minute. I have a story besides my happy story, so we'll wait for the happy story. But I want to talk a little bit. I got to ask Megan a question. So on Saturday, I got to cover the FAU men's basketball team versus Tulane game. It was a good game. I have to admit, but I have a beef with the referees and the umpires because during the first half, on one half of the court, obviously, is the Tulane bench. The other half of the court has the FAU court and their bench. And so FAU's on offense on the Tulane side of the bench during the first half. Ron Hunter, who is the Tulane's head coach, was up and on the floor. And I'm literally telling you, on the court most of that first half. In fact,
I'm glad you brought this up.
At one point, an FAU basketball player on the court went up to the umpire and said, "You have got to get him off the court. He is a sixth man playing defense for Tulane against us when we're trying to play offense." Right. I was shocked because they did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Well, they don't do anything to kill Mulkey every single week, and she does the same crap. So that's why I'm saying I'm glad you brought this up. I think that there are some coaches and some people that feel like they are above the rules. Kim Mulkey being one of them, obviously Hunter as well. It is a problem. you know, you need to be back. There's a reason. And you as a photographer, you know, for a fact, like where you're not supposed to be, there's a threshold. You're not supposed to be past that. There's, you know, there's just certain areas that you can't go past, and you're still in danger. You're still on the sidelines. Something could happen. We saw in the football season this year, so cameraman broke his leg really, really bad. Right. So like, it's still a dangerous situation. And especially in basketball, because the difference with basketball, and you know, we haven't talked about the court storming issue, but the difference with basketball is there's courtside seating, so you're directly on. There's no barricade right there, so it is a dangerous situation. And coaches that bend the rules or ignore the rules like that, I definitely do not agree with it. I don't think that it's right that Kim Mulkey does it, and I don't think any other coach that does it, that it's not right. You know the line, stay back.
I'm like, I was shocked because he literally was out on the court, and I'm like, wait a minute. So then I'm like, oh,
I'm telling you, go watch a LSU game. Go watch a LSU game. You'll see the same thing with Kim. The entire time she's up and down, and then she crosses the line sometimes, and it's like, are you serious?
And then I'm like, okay, I gotta wait till the second half. I want to see when his guys are down on offense on their end of the court, if he does it as much. And no, he did not do it.
Intentional.
It's intentional when the other team was. And I'm like, okay, now you should really be getting.
Oh yeah, if it's
do something about it.
I think with Kim, it's her entire presence. She does it the entire game. I don't think that's intentional towards him. I think her ego and her personality are just so big that it doesn't matter on her. In that little bitty body.
Okay, so Queen of who? Answer this one. Or Miss Candy, Queen of all sports. Why is Kim Mulkey's ego so big? Like, I feel like it's bigger than another women's basketball coach in the ACC who has the accolades to back up her ego.
I mean, I think Kim has the accolades to back it up. You know, for a long time, she was at Baylor. She was extremely successful at Baylor. But if you go read Brittany Griner's book, that there's a lot to be said about that. They didn't retire her jersey until this year, when Kim Mulkey was not a part of that program anymore. So I think there's a lot that can be said for that and who she is. I think she brings it on the court. It's who she is. I don't know. And she does have the success to back it up, but I don't think that's an excuse for bad behavior personally. Because I had an amazing coach, a basketball coach there in Canyon High School. And he was involved in younger ages as well. So we knew him in junior high. He was also my cross country coach, and he was not a guy and he was incredibly successful. He was an AAU coach of the year. He had like, I don't want to overstep, but I think 10 championships, y'all, state championships, incredibly successful. And he doesn't act like that. He's calm. He stays back. He minds the rules. Like when he asks something of us, he shows us what he wants. He gets out there and does it he would get out there and run with us. So I don't think that you have to be that type of coach or that type of person to be successful as a coach, but she has had success doing it and people turned a blind eye.
So I think that kind of goes with, I had a post even on my personal wall that I'm still interested in people's feedback, but it's like, what do you define as a leader? What do you expect out of a leader? How do you lead by example? There are some people that walk the walk, as your coach, walked the walk, did the talk, and brought out the best in people. Then there's the other type of people that use who they are, their voice, their personality, how it's packaged for them, and they bulldoze. And you either follow or you get plowed. And that's just, it's who they are, it's how they lead. And I think that kind of where, I think that's kind of where I pick her, is she's like a bulldozer. She has a big personality, and instead of using it one way, she chooses to be the leader that do as I say, or you're going to get moved. We're going to move through you.
I agree with that assessment.
And one of the things I would say, because I'm going to kind of head toward our good topic of the week, is I kind of think Caitlin Clark kind of gets that, because now she declared for the draft on Tuesday of last week before all the hoopla, is she going to break the record or not? Kind of to separate everything. And I think that was really smart on her part because she wanted to separate her accomplishment and her declaring for the draft and then playing the game, because that allowed her and her teammates to like really focus on the game that they had.
Agree. Right.
You know,
their final game of the season was against their rival OSU. OSU had won the first matchup in Ohio State. And then obviously Iowa won this matchup. And so I think it's very likely that in their conference tournament, we'll see a rematch and it'll decide who wins it for the year. Really exciting. But I agree. I think her declaring for the draft when she did, I feel like it's the right thing. You know, I saw some people saying, oh, she should hold on for another year. She can make that same type of money in the WNBA, y'all. The NIL deals don't disappear when you go to the league. You still have sponsorships. But that opportunity to go play with Aaliyah Boston and build something there, like that's one of a kind. And I think you go for that. And to separate it and say, okay, right now I'm declaring for the draft. Now she can focus on the tournaments. You know, obviously her conference tournament starts tomorrow. And then the big tournament starts very soon. So they can focus on that and actually enjoy her senior night. She had her senior night as well. And know that for a fact, this is it.
Right. Right, and her breaking Pete Maravich's record this on Sunday was awesome. I mean, just what she's done for women's basketball and especially college basketball. When can you
she got Maya Moore out the house? Sorry, she got Maya Moore out the house. That's huge.
I'm just saying. I don't know if any of you are listening.
When can you say was the last time the average ticket price for a college hoops basketball game was $459? The most expensive ticket was over $5,000 for a college basketball game. Like that is just awesome.
Woodward was there.
Luke in Carolina
was there. Like there were, you know, Pearl Moore, she's been keeping up with it as well. Now, Caitlin is still 411 points behind Pearl. But I think she's proven everything that she needs to prove. So I think that she's doing the right thing for her by going into the draft.
I do too. Yeah, kudos to her.
Well, ladies, thank you guys so much for this week. We've had a great
ton of people watching tonight.
Thank you. Spread the word. And thank you, Megan's Twitter followers and my Twitter followers. Thank you.
So I want to say two things, if I can. Congratulations to Jason Kelsey and his retirement.
Oh, yes.
We may see the retirement of the Tush Push. We shall see how that changes as going forward. And on top of it all, it is International Women's Month. And so what better way for me to celebrate than with my 3 best chicks? So.
Yay. Yes. Oh, and everybody, one last thing. Shout out to Lindsay. Lindsay, thanks for the hair. And you guys check her out on Instagram. She's got awesome pictures. So start following Miss Lindsay. And if y'all are ever in the Charlotte area, hit her up, see if she has time to fit you in. She's amazing. She's done reality TV hair. She does weddings galore.
Lindsay. I need something done to this.
I mean, come visit, baby. But as everybody knows, please hit us up either on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit at Jenna Cheryl. I don't know if you ladies are in Reddit or not. But hit us up and let us know if you have anything you want to talk about. And happy Women's Month, ladies. Thank you, guys. And go check out Candy's next show, Inside, what is it?
Pigskin. Inside the Pigskin.
The Pigskin. All right. Thanks, ladies. See you in 7.
Thanks.